Hi everyone, today I'm gonna do a recap of my first trimester. If you've missed my previous video, you would have missed that I'm pregnant, so I'll link it here somewhere underneath or up here, wherever it is, so you can watch that if you want to. It's sort of about how I found out I was pregnant and sort of everything before the actual first trimester. So if you're interested, you can go over there and watch that. But today, yeah, I wanted to do sort of a timeline, and then the second part of the video is gonna be more around all the symptoms, although I'm going to talk about some of them within the recap because I just have to. There was so much, they were part of it, so yeah, I'm going to mix it all a bit. The first thing was the first positive test, which I mentioned in my previous video as well. I have here that it was at 3 weeks 5 days. I think it might have been week 4 instead, that kind of thing potentially, but yeah, I haven't recounted the days, but it was quite early, so it was a very faint line. I'll have the photo here along with the progression from the following days. But because I live in the UK, then I'm going to have my baby through the NHS, and I also want to tell you sort of a bit, yeah, how the appointments work and that kind of thing. The way I did it and the way I think it works for everyone, but I don't know. There's a self-referral form. You basically put in the day of your previous period, the day of your positive test, and then they can call you back at some point. Apparently it's from weeks 8 to 9, but they called me back. Like my appointment was week 5, so, or week 4 and 5 days, that's what I have here. So it was very, very early. The midwife was just like, you're here so early, and I was kind of like, you guys called me back, so I don't know. If you're not from the NHS, if you're not from the UK and you don't know, in the NHS everything goes by the midwife. You don't see a doctor, you don't see an OB. Yeah, you just go to the midwife, which I know for some people, like my mom, it's like, what? You don't see a doctor? No, unless you have some sort of issue or something that they need to look at in more depth, I guess, then you just go to your midwife, and then the scans and that kind of thing, and yeah, that's it. So the first appointment, I had it at 4 weeks 5 days I have here, and that is just like a medical history appointment. Nothing really happens at that point. They just go, yeah, through your medical history. They ask you, they make sure that you're taking your folic acid, that you're not drinking and smoking and that kind of thing. And it's sort of an opportunity for you to ask any questions at that point. They do take your bloods and that sort of thing, but yeah. The first appointment, the first scan the NHS actually does is at 12 weeks. So I mentioned in my previous video, but I'll say it here again, I was getting a lot of cramping. I was slightly worried, and I don't know, trigger warning for stuff, but yeah, I was worried it could, be an ectopic pregnancy, because I know you get a lot of pain with that, but I just, you just never know if is the pain that I'm feeling that pain, or is it something else? Is it strong enough? Is it not strong enough? You don't know. So because I wanted to check that everything was okay, I booked a private scan, which is just a place where they do scans and that's all they do. I did that for week 7 and 4 days, and they check mainly for 3 things. 1, a heartbeat, and I'll put up the photo and video I have from that up here, or you can see it. The baby, fetus, whatever you want to call it at this point, is not even formed. You don't see a head, you don't see the legs, you don't see anything, but you can see the heartbeat. So they check for the heartbeat. They check if it's a single or multiple pregnancy, which was just a single. And then they check that the baby's growing in the correct place, which is what I was, what I really wanted to see. Well, the other 2 things as well, of course. But yeah, that's what relates to the possibility of ectopic pregnancy if it's implanted somewhere else. So they check for where the implantation has happened, and it looked like everything was fine. So I was, a lot more calm after that in that sense. Well, from week 6, I started feeling nausea. Week 8 was the worst one, and 9, but yeah, at 8 is when it all sort of went from, oh yeah, I'm feeling nausea, I'm vomiting a little bit, to I literally cannot keep anything down. And they tell you if you're not able to keep anything down for 24 hours, go to A&E. But I'm really, really stubborn. I don't want to go to A&E. So it was about 36 hours or so that I just literally could not eat, drink, like even a sip of water, I would just throw it up, like nothing was going. And yeah, it was awful. So I basically had to phone the GP. I need some tablets. So I got a prescription for tablets, took them twice a day from week 8 to about week 13 or so, I think. And they helped, but I still had really, really bad nausea. I was still throwing up. It was more like I was able to keep some of it down. but I was still really ill even with the tablets. You never know how you're gonna get it. Some people have literally no nausea whatsoever. Some people just throw up a little bit in the morning, which is, you know, morning sickness. Other people have it all day, but it's just nausea and they don't throw up. Other people have it like me, and other people have it worse and it literally doesn't go away at all throughout the pregnancy. So one of the things, you know, it's all quite physical because it is, you know, vomiting and fatigue and all these things are quite physical, but it's also like the mental game of you don't know when it's gonna get better. You literally, especially as a first time pregnancy sort of thing, you literally have no idea what's gonna happen. You don't know how long that could last. Even in, you know, if it's a second or third pregnancy, it doesn't have to be like the first one. When is it gonna stop? You literally don't know. So it's quite miserable in that sense. Within that week or those couple of days that I was throwing everything up, but obviously I was throwing up a bit before that as well, I lost about almost 3 kilograms of weight, which when I called, they said if your weight goes below 5%, like if you lose more than 5% of your body weight, then you have to come in. And it was almost at 5% because I know, you know, 3 kilograms might be not a lot for some people, but for me it was quite a lot. So I was, yeah, very close to that 5%. And yeah, I was very stubborn. I didn't want to go to the hospital. My husband was literally close to dragging me to A&E, but yeah, in the end, you know, looking at it now, I just feel like I should have gone. Not because, you know, I was fine and everything, but I feel like they would have hydrated me a bit faster and I would have had, I don't know, a couple of better days after that. Well, while I was doing it myself, I don't know, it took longer to rehydrate me and feel better, I think. So, although I wasn't feeling better at all until, yeah, much later. But anyway, I feel like in hindsight I should have gone, but I probably wouldn't if I was doing it again, so I don't know. I have here that week 11, 3 days was the first day without sickness tablets, and I haven't updated it, but actually week 11 I thought I was getting better and I was like, yes, it's clearing up, I'm feeling so much better. And literally 3 days later I went back and I was still, yeah, really ill. So I was taking them until like week 14 or so, and yeah, now I only take one if I know that I'm going somewhere. Like if I'm going into the office, I take it, otherwise I don't take them anymore. And then week 12 I had my first NHS scan, and that's, you know, you can see the baby and it looks like a baby, so I'll put the photo here. And they also do, if you want to, they do a test to check for Down syndrome, Patau syndrome, and a third one, can't remember the name. I mean, they don't check for it, but they tell you if you're low risk or high risk based on a measurement from the scan and a blood test. So based on that, they tell you high risk, low risk. If you have high risk, there's other tests that you can do. If you're low risk, like me, mine came out low risk, nothing happens, they don't do anything else about that. But yeah, it doesn't mean one thing or another, it's just, you know, like a possibility factor, I guess. That is the first trimester in terms of timeline. I'll go into the symptoms because there's a lot of things. There's some that I've mentioned, like the nausea and the vomiting and all that, which got better from about 14 weeks, so the whole first trimester, awful with that. I kind of want to forget about it, but I don't know how I'm gonna be able to. I've also mentioned the cramping, which went down after week 7, 8, it got much better. And I think I mentioned in my previous video as well, the breast pain, and that happened up until week 8 or 9 as well. 8 or 9 were the worst weeks ever. Oh, honestly, I don't know. Everything happened in those weeks, really. But it was breast pain from growth as well. I don't know if that's TMI, but yeah, from one day to another, it was like, boom, they've grown. And obviously that's painful because, yeah, it's not there to begin with. And it was, yeah, it was quite uncomfortable to sleep at night and that kind of thing. I just couldn't sleep because, yeah, it was quite painful. Bloating as well. I couldn't eat, like I said, basically from weeks 7 to 13 or so. I could only have bread, crisps, a few nuts, and that's it. The water, I had to take it with lemon squeezed in it, otherwise I could not drink water whatsoever. And then a lot of fatigue, which even now, talking throughout this video, I'm getting fatigued from talking, which is ridiculous. But yeah, a lot of fatigue, a lot of, yeah, trying to breathe and not being able to properly. With all the nausea and all of that, the smell of food, like enhanced smell stuff, I don't know, it was ridiculous. My husband was going to make his meal and he would like turn the oven on, and just from that smell I would literally go and throw up straight, like smell it, throw up, like directly. Like it was ridiculous. I could smell everything, and it was awful because everything was making me want to throw up. That then went down, so that's good. And yeah, it's not bad now, so that's good. I was also getting hungry really fast. Like I would be like not hungry, not hungry, not hungry, not hungry, and suddenly I was dying, like I was starving. And of course the weeks that I was really ill, I couldn't eat, but I was still really hungry. I'm in the second trimester now, but it's still happening where I'm fine, starving to the point that if I don't eat something right that second, I'd be throwing up. So that's still there. And then I have here peeing. That's one that I was not expecting so early on, but because I was thinking, you know, you pee a lot when your belly's big, baby's pressing on your bladder and that kind of thing, but actually from the fluctuation of hormones and everything, you pee a lot. So I was getting up in the night multiple times, also throughout the day, and I wasn't really drinking much, so I didn't really know where it was all coming from, but it was there. And it's still happening, but not as bad. I think, yeah, about weeks 9, 10 or so, it's when it was the worst, where a couple of nights I literally like woke up about 4 times or so, and I wasn't drinking throughout the night. So I was like, I don't understand. But acne, I also have here. Really bad weeks 8 and 9, and then it started clearing up again. I don't know if you can see my face now. I might have a couple of spots here and there, but overall it's, you know, I always have spots, and yeah, always suffered with that, but it's cleared up a lot. I think my face is better now than it was before getting pregnant. But yeah, weeks 8 and 9 I got really bad acne. And then the last thing that I have here is the nasal congestion. Like it feels like you have a cold the whole time, and this one's one that I had no clue would happen. Yeah, I was getting really bad congestion, especially at night, where I couldn't really breathe or sleep properly because I couldn't breathe. And I just thought, oh, I probably have a cold. I even did like a few COVID tests that were of course negative, but I just thought, yeah, I have a cold. And then somehow I read it somewhere that it's actually a pregnancy symptom, also because of the hormones and everything like that. So weeks 8 and 9 was also quite bad for the nasal congestion, and now it's still there. Like I'm always congested for some reason now, and yeah, it's a pregnancy thing. I don't know, it's just there. It's much better now, but yeah, it's something that is just there. I'll also show you my belly, just even though it's not the first trimester anymore, just I don't know, so you can see the progression, I guess, from the previous video. That is the belly now. So there's definitely a belly now. And yeah, it's growing. Obviously I'm 17 weeks and 3 days now, so it's, yeah, second trimester, but just to show you that bit as well. So that's everything for my first trimester recap. I also want to do like an essentials video, but let me know if you'd rather see separate videos for the first, second and third trimester essentials, or if you want one combined. But anyway, I will do, and any other pregnancy related videos you want to see, because I can definitely do those. And yeah, I'll also do a second and third trimester recap video, sort of like this one. I hope you guys found the video interesting, helpful in any way, and yeah, if you did, please give it a like and subscribe below as well so you can see all the videos coming up, and I will see you with the next one. Bye!